No matter what a good girl you are and however obedient you are and you're trying to do the right thing, you're forcing your body to do something that it's not even turned on enough to do. Shame, 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 and shitty sex. How can you want it after a while when it's not satisfying for you?
If you ever felt like sex just isn't as good as it should be, or if you and your partner have fallen into that routine where intimacy feels more like a chore than any connection, well, today's episode might change everything. I'm sitting down with Susan Bratton, who has spent 20 years teaching passionate lovemaking and is known as the Orgasmonaut for mapping out the human orgasmic potential. This conversation is different. Susan will break down why most of us have been approaching intimacy completely wrong, thinking that sex is just intercourse, when actually there are 20 different types of orgasms that are possible. This is not just about performance, it's about connection. Okay, Susan, thank you for coming on the show. You are an intimacy expert, and Lord knows we need intimacy help in this world.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do. And I already feel your energy. For those of you who are viewing, we got tons of toys here on this table between us. People love these rapid fire questions, and I want them to get a real feel already for what they're about to get into.
Okay.
So you ready for these rapid fires?
Of course. I came here so ready.
You were born ready for this.
Yeah.
Okay. What is the biggest intimacy myth that people believe?
I think that sex is intercourse and everything else is foreplay, and you're kind of good at it or you're not.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. And I like how that was rapid fire. Okay. What's one thing people can implement right now, today, that can make a big difference for them?
I would say always starting with bedroom communication skills, learning how to speak about your desire and ask for what you want and know that it constantly changes, and to have the courage to do that and the support to do it.
I have a lot of questions on that one. We're going to go into that for sure.
Good.
Okay. What is one of the most surprising things you've learned in your whole journey about human sexuality?
Well, I'm called the Orgasmonaut because what I have done is travel to the far reaches of orgasmic outer space and bring back the map to the territory so that others could have the kind of experiences that I have. And I don't think that people understand how massively orgasmic the human body is and what our orgasmic capacity and potential are.
Ooh, we're going to get into that one for sure. One piece of advice already, right from the get-go, from someone disconnected from their sexuality.
Well, I'd say that it's almost always rooted in shame and a lack of knowledge, which creates fear. And so if you're struggling in your sexuality, know that it can be one of the most beautiful, nurturing things in the world. I consider it to be a crown jewel of our humanity, and that I don't want you to not have access to it. I want to help and support you to have the kind of connection, love, and pleasure that you deserve, we all deserve.
Oh, amen. I can't even wait anymore. We got to get into this. Because I had some more rapid fires, but I want to get into it.
Okay.
Okay, so you traveled to the far reaches.
I do.
Right?
Yeah.
And really, I'm sure you've experienced and seen and taught and learned so much. And this is what makes me most excited for the viewers and listeners, because y'all don't even know what we're about to break into here.
Yeah.
And you really, in the rapid fire questions, something stuck with me really strongly. It's that disconnection between communication. Why? Are we speaking a different language than our partners? Or is it the way we grow up? Is there a religious aspect? Is our throat closing up when we want to say, I want a little more of this and a little less of that? And you mentioned shame.
Yeah.
What's going on here in this whole picture?
Sure. It's primarily religious repression, but it's also, it's not just religious, but there's a lot of religious repression. You know, you've said to me yourself that this is something that you've been struggling with, that you grew up in a Catholic household and sex wasn't talked about. And most people feel very upset that their parents never showed pleasure or connection with each other. Most kids say, my parents never told me about sex. And I think people feel very lonely and they don't have the words. There's no pleasure-based sex education. All of my work is censored, and all I do is teach passionate lovemaking techniques. I like to say that what I do is transform having sex into making love. Yet I'm shadow banned, censored. I can't advertise my programs that teach lovemaking techniques, but you can access porn immediately.
Immediate.
Right? A porn is the easiest thing in the world to do. And what is porn and what is movies? What are television? It's all sexuality based on the male gaze, the male arousal system, the male desire, and the male priorities. And that's why we end up with shame, sexless marriage, lack of pleasure, lack of orgasmic connection, because there's no access to the information. So I want to thank you for having me and being willing to talk about this, because podcasting is literally the only place we can have real talk about pleasure.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
I had put up, and you and I both know Emily.
Yes.
One of our clips that we did, I put up the word sex. And can you believe just putting up the word sex? I didn't even think putting it on the title would be that big of a deal. I couldn't believe it.
I know.
Like, it's like, where is everyone? What happened? Is this blocked out? No one's seeing this. And that's, I can't explain how much I'm behind people talking about this, because I know how difficult it is in social media, but also I know how healing it is as a doctor.
It's so healing. I mean, just the fact that people who have a longer sex span have a longer health span. The fact that good sex, and by good sex, I mean orgasmic sex for both parties. I really put an emphasis on orgasm.
I hear that.
Because it's all learned skills. And so many people run around thinking, oh, I can only have an orgasm this one way, or I can't have an orgasm from intercourse, or I can't do, well, I'm sorry you can't, but we're still going to have sex. Like it's a real problem that people don't understand, that just training neural pathways from your body to your brain gives you the pleasure and expands the pleasure, so that you can have over 20 different kinds of orgasms from your body, from different sensations and areas and locations and pleasure tools and all kinds of things.
Oh, we got to rewind. That. You mean to tell me people can have 20 different types of orgasms?
Yeah. The Homo sapiens. That's what I'm talking about right here. Homo sapiens, like you, like me.
20.
Yeah.
And what is the difference between the 20? What do they even look like?
Well, there's 3 big categories of types of orgasms. One is locations to touch. So your penis, my clitoris, my breasts, your throat, your mouth, your lips, your tongue, your belly, your feet, your ears, your nipples, whatever it might be. There's these locations. And then there are techniques, basically, like female ejaculation, male multiple orgasm, full body energy orgasms, erotic hypnosis, expanded orgasms. That's a practice called expanded orgasm. That's incredible. So you can have these techniques that elicit responses, not just locations, but specific things you do to the body or the mind, as in erotic hypnosis, right? Teaching you how to come on command. I can command you to have an orgasm. Now, I'm not a hypnotist, so that's not one that my boyfriend wants me to learn how to do it. He wants me to do it to him, which is so cute. And then the third thing are objects of desire. Okay. So that can be, I brought a few interesting objects of desire that are very health related. And I think that so many people are afraid of pleasure tools.
Yeah.
They think, oh, it's going to numb me out. I won't be able to have an orgasm, a real orgasm, or I wouldn't, you don't need to bring that into the bedroom. I know what I'm doing. You don't need to use a toy too. Like, you don't think my penis is good, or my fingers are good, or my tongue is good. There's so much shame around embracing technology. But hey, what do? You've got an electric toothbrush, an oral irrigator, you make an Instant Pot, you have an electric car. I mean, we use a lot of tools. We are tool users. And so why not expand your orgasmic capacity by cross-training and activating these erogenous zones with this type of stimulation? Like in our genitals alone, we have mechanoreceptors, we have corpuscles, we have nerve endings. We've got all these things that are like vibrationally sensitive, pressure sensitive, touch sensitive. Yeah. And the more that you touch any part of your genital structures or any part of your body, the more your brain, this sensory complex right up in the top, can go, oh, well, that feels good. A lot of times, there was a really interesting study that was done where a nurse practitioner touched 41 women in different places on their genitals and on their breasts and said, tell me what you feel, and recorded it. And of those women, about 40% of them said that they felt pleasure having their clitoris touched. They felt about 50%, a little more than 50%, said they felt pleasure having their introital sphincter, which is the opening to the vagina. It's a little round muscle, having their introital sphincter touched. More women found pleasure with the entrance to their vagina touch than even their clitoral structure, which is the thing with the 10,000 nerve endings, right? But mostly what they said was, I feel, and I looked at all the verbatims and I boiled it down to 4 things. They either felt pleasure, but that was the minority.
Mm-hmm.
They felt shame being touched in a location. They felt pain, or they felt numbness. They didn't feel anything. So the nerves weren't activated. The touch sensors weren't activated in those locations. And so mostly people are running around not knowing their bodies are massively orgasmic, not realizing that it's like, I kind of think that what I do in some ways is I'm more like a recipe writer. What I'm doing is I'm teaching you the steps to have a particular orgasmic experience. And you try it the first time and it's pretty good food. You make it the second time and you're like, oh yeah, it's much better the second time I made it. Third time you make it, your family's like, hey, can we get this in regular rotation, Mom? Because this is really tasty. I love this. Put this up with the pork chops and the spaghetti and meatballs or whatever it is. And so the idea that you have to orgasmically activate the mind-body connection to begin to move from shame, pain, and numbness into pleasure, pretty soon, now you're taking your nice lubed finger and you're drawing it down my inner labia, and I'm totally present to it. I feel no more shame or pain or numbness. Now I feel pleasure. Oh my God, now I just had an orgasm and you weren't even touching my clitoral tip or my introital sphincter. You were touching my labia and I just came. Oh my God, I used to hate my breasts, but now you've activated them. Now I feel pleasure. Now you're kissing me and you're playing with my nipples and I'm having orgasms, right? This is the journey that we can do when we realize, oh, okay, it's not that I have this one thing I can do or I can't do this thing. I just need to learn how.
Yeah.
Now I have an open mindset. Now I follow the recipe, and the second or third time I get this breakthrough experience. And then I'm like, ooh, how many orgasms can I have? Oh, and that's what happened to me, right? That's why I ended up to be the orgasmonaut. Like, I'm just going to have all the gasms.
Yeah. Man, you painted such a beautiful picture here. Good. Because I heard the word presence.
Yeah.
And, I have this partner and she's so intuitive.
Good.
She always knows when I'm not present.
When you checked out.
When I'm checked out.
When you left.
Anytime, even when I'm kissing her.
Yeah.
If I'm like, oh, did I get that thing?
Yeah.
She'll pull away and she'll look at me and I'll be like,
come back to me, baby.
Is this a sixth sense? What's going on?
Yeah. Well, sex is a mindfulness practice.
It's a mindfulness practice.
It's also a conjoined trance state, a theta trance state of ecstatic bliss, which is why religions love to repress it. Because when you can touch source or God or Gaia, when you can feel your palpable connection to consciousness, to life, to source, you don't need to go tithe at the church anymore, right? So it's a controlling mechanism is the censorship and lack of education. Ignorance keeps you in fear so you can be controlled.
So sex in itself.
That's serious shit right there.
It's serious.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so, remember I told you I grew up very religious. This was taboo. We don't even talk about it.
Right.
And I just put up a post before you came.
Okay.
I had it down when I was in bed. I go, what if Satan was just these repressed parts of us? Like sort of symbolic in many ways. And then I started going into like, well, what did Jesus embody? And then part of it was like the embodiment of sadness. There was the expression of anger, at least in biblical texts. And then there was no shame. He wasn't ashamed because he was authentic. And I asked about sensuality and sexuality. I said, did he express that? And it didn't go much into the Bible, but there was moments where he would get his feet cleaned and it would be very detailed and he would be very just open and not ashamed. I go, that's very interesting to me. And then it opened up the whole relationship with Mary Magdalene. I go, oh, wait a minute. There's a lot there that we don't know about. All that to say, I do believe that can be such a deep, deep, deep wound for so many people where we don't want to look at any of that. But you saying, oh, maybe this is purposeful. Maybe we can experience God in that theta brainwave conjoined trance state.
Well done.
Where it's palpable, Yeah. So to me, it's because I felt it.
Yeah.
I felt it. I said, okay, this is like psychedelic beyond. This is the most beautiful experience we can feel. Yeah. But you got to be in the state. You can't be in the porn state.
Right.
You got to be in the conjoined state.
Yes.
How do we get into that conjoined state?
It is a mindfulness practice of presence and connection and feeling sensation. I'm not a therapist. I don't sit in an office and work one-on-one with people unwrapping trauma and healing and things like that. I'm more of an opportunist. I'm a publisher of passionate lovemaking techniques, bedroom communication skills, because I can teach you all the techniques in the world, but you're not going to get anywhere if you can't talk to each other during your lovemaking and say what feels good and what doesn't. And with the human body, it changes every day. What felt good yesterday isn't what you're going to want today. And that's partially because we're on, especially women, but also men, we're on hormonal cycles. But the foods we eat, the sleep we get, the nutrition, the exercise, the movement, the heart space, all of these things have effect on our physiology such that every time we make love together, we want something different. And so when we understand that, then we're like, how do you feel today? What sounds good to you? What would you like, right? Then you can start to have those conversations. I think that's really, really important. So communication skills are really the foundation, and then the techniques sit on top of that. And I've written hundreds of techniques. And what I like to do is write techniques that are, this is my brand of sex, okay? I literally use these words, and I think this is going to make sense to you. Heart connected, conscious, passionate lovemaking. So it's not performative. It's not what you saw on porn is what you should do, or what you saw in the movies. It's what do your body and my body want to do together to co-create pleasure in this moment right now? Where are we on our journey? Do we want to try nipple-gasms? Do we want to make love? Do we want to try oral? Do we want to do 69? A lot of people say to me, 69, I can't do that. That's too hard. I mean, I can't concentrate. I can't be giving and receiving at the same time. It's just, I don't know. I don't think I like it. And I'm like, okay, well, first of all, everything you do, you learn to get better over time. So when you start, it's a lot of sensory input, but you don't need to be giving and receiving and orgasming and doing it. Just relax. Just let your body feel what's going on. Take your pleasure. Don't try and give your partner oral. That's just a role play. Now you're like, what do I need to do to make him have an orgasm or make her have an orgasm? All that stuff is just someone else's agenda that you're taking on, and then you're out of your mind, you're out of your body, you're not connecting in your heart. Just go with the flow. Just relax. Enjoy a penis in your mouth. Enjoy someone's mouth on your yoni. Just take your pleasure till your knees give out, or whatever it is. Just enjoy yourself. Practice makes perfect. Like in anything, sexual mastery is a lifelong pursuit, right? You just keep getting better in bed as you do it.
Oh, Lord, I feel like a lot of us are adolescents then.
We are. Not even.
And we're not even. Maybe
adolescents.
Toddlers trying to walk.
Yeah, toddlers.
And when should this be taught? Like, how is this, first of all, why isn't it taught? And when should this be taught so we can grow up more embodied and open and healthy in our sexuality? Let me talk to you something that has been a total game changer in my home, and it's probably not what you think. It is an air purifier, because what we breathe in matters as much as what we eat or drink. And air quality in our homes can be filled from everything from mold spores to pollen to smoke to allergies. And air purifiers are so important. Most of them are going to be in plastic boxes, make a lot of noise. And then I discovered the Jasper. The Jasper was brought to me by my sales team, and they said, this is a fantastic air purifier. And I looked into it, and it was true. I loved it so much that I got the founder on. And what immediately caught my attention is the design. It's so many of the air purifiers are clunky, antiquated looking, 90s looking, and this is sleek, quiet, and powerful. But here's what really got me. It's built with steel, not plastic. So we're talking about machines that are actually built to last. So Jasper handles everything from smoke to mold to pollen, all the allergens that make you feel terrible without you even realizing why. Whether you're dealing with seasonal allergies, live in an area that is susceptible to wildfires or smoke, or just want the cleanest air possible in your home, get this. I am confident that you will love it. It has a lifetime warranty. Yes, lifetime. That tells you everything you need to know about the quality and engineering that goes into these units. Since I've been using my Jasper for about a year now, I have 2 running. One's on the first floor, one's on the second floor. I have 3 actually, 1 first floor, second, third floor. And I've noticed cleaner air, better overall sleep, and just an overall sense that my home environment is clean. The air is nice. We tested it. We have people come in and test the air, and they say the air is super clean. Thank you, Jasper. Go to jasper.co/DRG and use the code DRG for $200 off for a limited time. That is jaspr.co/DRG. The code is DRG.
Right from being little kids. Little kids are very sexual very early, and you want to give them the names of their genitals. I brought some anatomy pictures to show you what all the parts are. So teaching your child about consent, not being touched, like if you don't want Auntie to tickle you, don't let Auntie tickle you. Say, no, Auntie, no tickles, right? All of these kind of bodily autonomy and consent. And then where do babies come from? Explaining how it works. And then teaching kids how to navigate preteen and teen sexuality, teaching them about safe sex, contraception. All of those things are very important. And having them understand how to have boundaries around what they're willing to do and what they're not willing to do, and to hold their boundaries confidently, and teaching them how beautiful lovemaking is, teaching them that it's a really beautiful thing that people can do together, that it's a gift, that it's a joy, that it's a pleasure. Here's how to do things well and safely. That's what's most important, to keep your hearts and your bodies safe.
I think that's the biggest problem. I read a book called Conversations with God years ago, and I really liked it. And one thing that it says is we grow up teaching our children to use everything but the name of their genitals.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
No parts.
Yeah, the JJs and hoo-has and coochies and instead of vulvas, vaginas. Yeah.
And it's that shame that kind of we project on our own sexual trauma or lack of authenticity in it. That comes to our children, and it becomes a generational curse in many ways too, right?
It is.
So should children see parents being intimate? Should they see parents kissing together? Like where's the line drawn that's healthy? Yeah,
it's okay if kids walk in on you having sex by accident and you just say, hey, mommy and daddy are making love, shut the door and we'll be out in a minute. Or we're going to lock our door now. Mom and dad need some private time. We're going to connect with each other, and you do your thing, or whatever it is. My husband and I have had an expanded orgasm practice for about 2 decades, and I'd love to tell you more about that. But I remember that what he does is he puts on these kind of cotton pants and a t-shirt, and he puts his leg over me, and I butterfly my legs open, and he gives me a yoni massage. And yoni is a tantric lovemaking word for the female genital system. It's prettier than vulva or vagina. Nice. Y-O-N-I, yoni. It's a nice word. Lingam is the penis, prostate, testicle complex. And so he's, got warm oil, and he's giving me a massage, and he's giving me these strokes, and it's really beautiful. And our daughter, who's now 28, she was walking down the hallway, and he had these fisherman pants on, these Japanese fisherman pants that he wears. And our daughter, Taylor, she's like, oh, Dad, gonna give Mom a massage, huh? The big eye wing. She's like 11 or 12 or 8 or something. She's young. She was in grade school. And he goes, I am. And, we just have a really well-adjusted daughter because we modeled passionate connection, intimacy, good sex in our household. She knew her mom and dad had good sex. Yeah. And what I see is the kids who don't have that are pissed off. My parents never told me about sex. They never showed anything. I didn't even know if they had it. I didn't get any sex education. And what I say to them is, I'm sorry that your parents did the best they could do. You need to forgive them. Your sex life is your job to mature and learn about. So you just learn, if you're bitching at me, you know about me, you can start learning the things that I teach, all the lovemaking and communication skills and intimate wellness. And just start where you want to start. As a matter of fact, one of the things that I wrote about a year or so ago, maybe 2 years now, I had written all these sex techniques, all these orgasm skills, all these communication techniques, how to do all these different things. And what I realized is that what people really want are erotic play dates. They don't just want to find your G spot or find your P spot or things like that. What they want to do is have really fun times in the bedroom together. And so one day I just sat down and I was like, what are all the best ideas that I've ever thought of for great fun sex dates? And I wrote them down, and there were 48 of them. Some of them are orgasmic expansions. Some of them are communication skills. Some of them are intimate wellness experiences. And I put them together in something I call my sex life bucket list. And I think I have one right here. So basically, it's at sexlifebucketlist.com for your viewers and listeners who are like, I'd like to do this. It's essentially this quiz that you download, and if you're lucky enough to have a partner, do it with your partner.
Oh, cool.
And I walk you through a video and I explain these 48 erotic playdate ideas, and you mark them. Oh yeah, this is definitely going on my bucket list. That sounds great. I've been wanting to find my G-spot and activate it, Yeah. And B's are, I mean, it wouldn't be on my bucket list, but if you want to do it, I'm down for it. Like if that sounds interesting to you, I'm your wing girl here. And C's are, it's not for me right now. I'm not ready for that, or I'm not interested in that. That's not my jam. And then you take your A lists and you merge them, and now you've got a bunch of new fun things to try that move you from the kind of patriarchal religious expression of male-oriented sex, which is what I call grab a boob and stick it in. That's really all we see modeled is like intercourse is sex, everything else is foreplay, which is falderall and fiddle-dee-dee. Because everything is lovemaking. From the minute you come together till the minute you're done, that's lovemaking. And it's all orgasmic and it's all beautiful and it's all a treasure. Now, that being said, some of my best work is teaching people how to have orgasmic intercourse together, especially women who struggle a bit with it because they've been rushed to sex so fast because people think having sex is intercourse instead of all the fun things.
That's where we learn it, right? All the porn, the movies. Even the movies.
Yes,
right?
It's all grab a boob and stick it in.
It's all grab a boob and stick it in.
Yeah, or performative, where it's for the male gaze and the male pleasure rather than female-led pleasure as well. And when you get into female-led pleasure, I find the men who are with women who understand what they want and ask for it and realize, this goddess is going to tell me what she wants and I'm going to give it to her.
That's great.
Then all of a sudden he's winning. He feels self-respect. He's respected by his woman. She's making dates with him to have sex because he loves to cum the crap out of her. He loves to leave her in a puddle of bliss. He loves to touch source with her in ecstasy and orgasmic pleasure.
Yeah, I think oftentimes men are pressured because we're like, okay, well, we got to figure out all of this, and we have performance anxiety.
You do. So do women.
Hearing that from a woman who knows or has explored her body, her spots in that moment, or at least knows how to connect in that moment. It's sort of like okay, let's be in flow together.
Yes.
I don't have to think about this. I can just meet you where you want.
Yes.
And you can meet me where I want. I mean, that's a lot of pressure off a lot of the men.
One of the things I talk about when you said be in flow, I have a thing I call my dope flow sex date. And it really is just get together and figure out what you want right now in this moment with your lover. There's no prescription for what the date looks like. None at all. And when I land on the bed, I don't even know what I want till I get there, nor does my partner. And then we throw out ideas. What do you feel like? What are you into? What sounds good? And then we do those things. And when I'm complete with that, I'm like, hey, you know what I want to do now? Let's try this. It's so much fun when you just go with the flow.
It's like explorative. Yeah.
Yeah.
I see it like two kids running through the woods. Should we go here? Should we go here? How about jump in the water? How about go on up that tree?
Let's eat these mushrooms.
Whatever feels good in the moment. Okay, wow. Because it's a co-creation, and both people have to feel authentically expressed and connected to.
Yeah.
So then, in this patriarchal society for sex, is this the reason why a lot of women are suffering with, I can't have an orgasm, I've never had an orgasm? Yeah. Is it because the model of how we approach sex?
Yes. The notion that orgasms are all learned skills, that everyone can have them, that you're not broken, that there's nothing wrong with your libido necessarily, that it's just that you haven't been getting the inputs and the connection that you need, that you haven't found the way to get out of your head and into your body. You have body shame of various kinds. That's a big one for women, especially being estrogen dominant. We have a very... we worry because we're prey, not the predators in the land of Homo sapiens. We don't walk safe in this world.
Yeah.
So it takes us a lot to get out of our head and into our body. And then our arousal ladder is much slower to climb than our male-bodied partners. In your penis, you have 3 big erectile tissue chambers. They fill with blood very quickly. You're testosterone dominant. You have nighttime erections. You wake up with morning wood. You masturbate almost daily. I mean, these are all things that you do as a man that are totally normal. For a woman, she's got the same amount of erectile tissue in her vulvovaginal system, but it takes 10, 20, 30 minutes, depending on her frequency of sex, her age, her hydration, her nitric oxide production, her hormone levels, her level of trust with you, where she is in her cycles of moon, how much sleep she's had, all kinds of things. They all affect us. And so, we could be brand new lovers and I'm totally hot for you and I'm ready to go much faster. Or we could be in a monogamous relationship where it's going to take a little heavy lifting for mama to get there, but she going to get there because we both know how to do that heavy lifting. It's calming, relaxation, taking your time, yoni massage, breast pleasuring, kissing, full body touch. Maybe I need a foot rub. My big toe hurts. I've got a neck ache, whatever it is. I did a big heavy deadlift session and my lower back's a little sore. What do you need so that you can relax and get into your body and so we can ride up the pleasure together?
Amen to that. The men out there, it just, if the feather lands the right way, we're turned on, right?
Yes, exactly.
The wind hits us the right way.
Yeah, and so women are so used to thinking there's something wrong with them because we don't have the response of our male-bodied partners. Well, she's never in the mood.
Takes a while.
She's actually always in the mood if you love her beautifully. You can always get her to come lie with you when you take her to Pleasure Town, when it's not grab a boob and stick it in, when she doesn't think she's broken.
Do you think that women who don't know that there's any other way to have sex and has sort of subscribed to this is what sex is, do you think that internally there's a deeper truth where they know that there's more and that's causing sort of this disconnection in sexless marriages or something like that? Because so many people, after 8 months, 1 year, 2 years of being married, the sex goes down big time.
Oh, yeah.
And is it because they haven't found that pleasure? They haven't found what works for them? They've been using an old model that is not fulfilling.
Yeah.
All of that?
Yeah. It literally is the grab a boob and stick it in problem. They think sex is intercourse. He's ready to go. So she is penetrated too soon. She doesn't have orgasms from intercourse. She doesn't really get much oral. She's embarrassed about her genitals. She doesn't want to be seen. She doesn't want the light on. It's like shame, 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 and shitty sex. How can you want it after a while when it's not satisfying for you? No matter what a good girl you are and however obedient you are and you're trying to do the right thing, you're forcing your body to do something that it's not even turned on enough to do because we don't see any models for it. Like, when's the last time you saw a yoni massage video?
When?
Where would you even find one?
Where do yonimassage.com maybe. That's about it.
There isn't one. I have them, right? I have my Steamy Sex Ed video collection. It teaches yoni massage. I have videos on Better Lover that teach about yoni massage. You think I get any SEO? Do you think AI is linking people to my stuff? Censored. So just nobody knows, which is why these podcasts are so important.
But it's so easy to find porn.
Boom.
Grab a boob and stick it in is like, you learn that at 13 as a young boy, 12, and that becomes the model. So to all the women out there then in relationships, is it now the step to say, hey, husband, I love you. And there's another way we can do this. I got a really good podcast to listen to. Yeah. Is this the invitation now?
Yes.
And hopefully the fellas can be like, you know what?
Or
yeah,
the husband.
I'm open.
He wants more. He knows she's not happy.
He knows.
He wants to do a good job. He just doesn't know what to do. And she makes it hard because she's afraid, upset, unfulfilled, not sexually satisfied. They'll be very unhappy. That's why I think the sex life bucket list is good. It's advanced. So there's couples who, they can't even talk about sex.
Right.
They're totally quiet. There's no moaning going on. There's no nothing going on. There's no feedback happening. It's furtive. It's embarrassed. They're embarrassed about it. They're just getting their needs met. But that's actually a smaller part of the world. Most people would say they have a pretty good sex life and they're doing okay. But they're in that, kind of elementary school where, you're doing great for a third grader, but we're up here with some PhDs in orgasm and you could get that too. Some people are driven, they're seekers. And one of the reasons I like to do podcasts in wellness and longevity is because a lot of times you can kind of sneak the vegetables in, right? Which is, I came to talk to you about intimate wellness, which we will do, but I'm also opening up this world of orgasmic possibility, this world of heart connection, this world of non-performative sex, this world of presence and connection. And so all of a sudden you're like, oh, wow, I never really thought about the fact that I could give my wife 20 kinds of orgasms. That's interesting to me. Or, oh, I never really thought about my husband could have more orgasms than the one and done he has. That's crazy. Most guys don't even know that they can have more than one kind of orgasm, that the orgasm they're having is the orgasm you see on TV. It's not all the kinds of orgasms that you can have. You can have P-spot orgasms. You can have male multiple orgasms. You can have full body orgasms, heartgasms. I mean, one of the techniques I teach for orgasmic intercourse is called the heart-tongue method. And I get guys, I remember I was in Ibiza and I was at a rave. And my husband and I were with our daughter. She's in her 20s, almost 30. And she had to go to the bathroom and I went with her and I sat down outside the bathroom and there was a guy who was, I would say, pretty much tripping balls. And he said to me, he started talking to me and I told him what I did. And he goes, can I ask you a question? I'm like, sure, tell me. He goes, why is sex not as good as I think it should be? I hear this all the time, by the way, from people across the gender spectrum. Sex is just as good as it seems like my friends are having great sex, but I don't really feel like I am. Is there something wrong with me? And I said to this beautiful young man, I said, next time you have sex, try and imagine that your penis is both a heart and a tongue. When you enter your woman, I want you to make it like your beating heart is radiating love that's actually coming down and out of your penis in her. She will feel it. You'll notice if you bring that love into her that she'll start feeling it. And instead of thinking about your penis like, boom, 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 I'm going to bang her, I'm going to pound her, I'm a ramrod, I'm a piston, right? Don't think about your penis that way because the vagina doesn't actually want tons of friction. That's a thing it likes, but it likes a lot of other things. I love to teach people how to expand all of the sensation in the vaginal cavern so that so the couple becomes massively orgasmic together, that she's coming the whole time you're inside her. So I said, think about your penis more like it's a tongue and you're licking the cave of her vagina. It's like a pocket. It's flat until you put something in it. And when she gets turned on, it balloons and tense up. It has a little round entrance. It has a little neck, and then it opens into this cavern. It's not an inside-out penis. It's not just, it doesn't want that. It wants a lot of things. So if you start licking it with your penis, you're licking those nerves that run down her legs and making her toes curl. You're licking the bottom where the perineal sponge is underneath the vaginal tissue there. That's a part of her erectile tissue network. You're licking her cervix. You're licking her G-spot. You're licking her deep spot. You're just activating that whole thing. So now your penis is articulate. It's almost like a finger instead of a piston. And I said, if you connect your heart and you slow down and you pleasure her with that man cannon of yours, you'll find that sex becomes more satisfying. That's just one little technique in hundreds of them.
And the woman will feel that.
She'll feel it.
Will she feel the heart connected?
Yes.
Because women are intuitive.
Well, your girlfriend feels it the minute you check out.
When I'm kissing.
Whenever, yeah. So
already.
Of course she's going to feel your heart tongue in her.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
What an easy thing to remember.
Yeah, it's a good one.
It might be hard to accomplish for a lot of men, but
it's not.
But no, okay. So
men
like,
are great
hey,
with their dicks. They know how to work their dicks.
Fellas, come on. This is so easy, right? Let's try it out.
Yeah.
So how do we connect to the heart though? As a man, how do we connect to the heart? Is it like we close our eyes and we kind of feel it? We breathe into it?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
You have a sense that's, we have many senses, and one of them is called interoception. Interoception is feeling what you feel in your body. Oh, I've got gas, I'm going to fart, or oh, I stubbed my toe and it hurts, or oh, I've got a hangnail, or whatever. Any of those kinds of things. That's your interoception. And men can feel their heart and using visualization connect it to their genitals, right? Once they can bring that energy together, they can do that. Now they're in their heart. Now, instead of being like a service animal who's just there to bang somebody, now they're bringing their heart and their love through their member into their body, into their woman's body.
I love it. We can do that, fellas. We have the power of visualization.
Yes, you do.
Okay, we have tons of toys here.
We have some things.
So the people viewing, we got a little treat. Listeners, we're going to describe it very clearly.
Good.
What is going on here now? What are some of the favorite things here?
So when you are, all right, so now you're like, oh my God, I love sex. I'm so glad I tuned into this episode. I didn't realize there was so much I could learn. I want to get some erotic play dates. I want to learn some new orgasms. I want to learn some techniques. I want to learn to be a better communicator. I want to be a moaner. I want to talk fantasies together. I want to share frames about things that were really incredible. There's so many skills that are really easy to pick up. This is the great thing about being a sex educator, is that if I tell you, you've got it. These are not hard things. It's more just being exposed to the information. But what gets you is the third leg of that stool. So now I've got good communication skills and I've learned a bunch of techniques, but maybe my parts aren't working. Maybe my vaginal canal is getting dry because I don't have enough estrogen. Maybe my erectile function is starting to, maybe I'm pushing a wobbly noodle now. And I'm like, all right, I've been in denial about this, but it's for real. My penis is shrinking. I've got atrophy and I'm not as hard as I used to. And where did the veins go? I used to have a veiny manaconda and now I've got like a little inchworm. Like, how did this happen? So if you want to have hot sex for the rest of your life, which the minute you start having good sex, you're like, oh yeah, I'm going to devote a big part of my life to having this incredible intimacy and connection, because there's nothing other than the love of family and friends, good health, walks in the woods, art, dancing, music, and lovemaking. Like, all the rest of the stuff this is what we are alive for, right? These are the things that make us feel alive and happy. But you got to keep your parts in good working order, right? It's like tuning up your car. So for me at 64, I'm having the best sex of my life. I've got the juiciest genitals. I'm just massively orgasmic. And because for 20 years, I've put my attention on expanding my pleasure. So for women, it's pretty straightforward. We have clitoral atrophy, labial atrophy, vaginal atrophy. So everything's shrinking because, you know what your grandma and your grandpa look like if they're still alive. They're tiny. We get littler.
They're just tiny.
Well, your dick doesn't stay the same size when your grandpa's dick is little too, right? You know what I mean? Like everybody's like, oh, grandpa dick, don't talk about grandpa dick. But you know what I mean, right? Atrophy. So you have to fight atrophy. Just the same way as when you work out and you're working on increasing your muscle mass and you're doing your strength training and all those things. You want to do that for your genitals. So there's a couple of things. For women, one of the things that I really like, I'll just show you a few really interesting things. One of the things that I love is a topical estrogen serum. This one's called Glow Below. And by the way, everything I'm going to talk about, so you can just listen or watch, is at drivedesire.com. I keep it all there. So what was that glow thing? It's at drivedesire.com. Everything I'm going to talk about. Because I don't want to tell people and then they're like, how do I get that thing? It's really annoying when people don't know where to get things. So topical estrogen or DHEA is your friend. These vaginal serums do an incredible job getting that vaginal tissue thicker. And then it can hold the fluids that come from our blood plasma down into our pelvic bowl and seep through our vaginal mucosal lining to wet it. Women get dry. So they get clitoral atrophy, labial atrophy, vaginal atrophy, and they get dryness and they get incontinence. So they struggle to climax, they pee their pants, sex hurts, all that stuff. So starting with, I think ground zero is always a nitric oxide supplement. I like food-derived nitric oxide supplementation. So made from real organic fruit and vegetables that helps replace your nitric oxide store so you can get blood flow to your penis and your yoni, to your lingam and your yoni. Vaginal estrogen for women, it doesn't go systemic, so you also may want to use bioidentical hormone replacement and top up your estrogen, your progesterone, your testosterone, and your oxytocin. But you can do that naturally, and I'll tell you about that as well. The second thing for women is red light therapy, photobiomodulation, intravaginal photobiomodulation. That's red light in the vagina.
Wow.
And this is a little thing. It's called the vagina device. It inserts into your vagina every other day for 8 to 10 weeks. It reverses that atrophy. The red light stimulates glycogen, which your good vaginal bacteria, that's what they want to have to eat. That's what they eat is glycogen, sugar. So the red light makes the sugar, increases it. It also stimulates the mitochondria, the batteries in the cells of the vaginal mucosal lining, to stimulate more tissue growth to reverse the laxity.
Amazing.
The Kegels, the warmth, and the warmth creates collagen, thickens the tissue because it gets so thin when you're older. And the vibration is Kegels for pelvic musculature tone, so you don't pee your pants.
That's right.
So you have good orgasmic contractions. You've got good grip on the penis, all those good things, right? You need all that. So red light therapy, but the red light therapy really is only inside the vagina. And that's not going to fix the clitoral and labial atrophy. So what I like is nothing I can demo because it's a thing that you go get done. It's a treatment. It's not laser or RF in the vagina. It's external and it's acoustic wave. Have you heard about acoustic wave?
Just sound waves?
Sound waves. Yeah, it's acoustic wave technology, sometimes called shock wave, sound waves, acoustic wave. It's used a lot orthopedically for joints and things.
That's where I heard it. Yeah.
But it also can be applied to the genitals, penis and vulva. And that way it stimulates new tissue growth. And then when new tissue grows, you have capillaries that can grow into the new tissue. And when you have capillaries, then the nerves can follow because they need the blood flow for innervation. And so when the nerves grow, then you get your sensation back. So your clitoris plumps up again, your labia plump up again, your penis gets bigger again, it gets more sensitive. Most old guys have sensation loss. They're just banging away on their poor wives, trying to get their orgasm. Their wives are like, oh, right? Because he has sensation loss, because he has atrophy.
Lord Jesus.
Right? It's reversible with Gains Wave. That's the company that makes the treatment. Lots of people now have shockwave devices in their offices and they're offering this, but they're not trained and they don't know what they're doing. I only recommend Gains Wave. That's the one, and it works beautifully. For men, what I like to offer with the Gains Wave and the nitric oxide is a vacuum erection device.
That's what I thought it was.
That's what it is. And this is what I've brought you in that box right there. I brought you one of these. And I brought you the second cylinder. So basically, you start out with this cylinder. Now, if you need one large, this is 80% of men start with a 2-inch cylinder. This fits 80% of guys. Some guys need a smaller one. Some guys need a bigger one. And I've got even more sizes than this. I just can't carry them all. And what's nice about it is this particular pump system, what it does is you put your penis inside here. You get a good seal with some lube right around the base of the shaft. Then you turn this on. This is an electric pump head. And this electric pump head automatically pulls the air out of here, gets a nice vacuum seal. And what it does is it pulls blood from your body into your penis. So it's expanding the blood carrying capacity of your penis. It's reversing the atrophy. It's doing tiny little bits of just micro damage to that tissue so that new tissue can lay down and grow. And then the capillaries come in and then the nerves come back. And then you get a nice, veiny, firm, hard penis again. And I would say generally most men 40 and up, the atrophy happens so slowly that they don't realize how much firmness they've lost till they start pumping.
Wow.
And men use these pumps both for reversing erectile dysfunction and atrophy, but they also continue to pump. It's healthcare down there. This is very much sexual biohacking and sexual regenerative therapy. Urologists give this to men who are losing penile volume.
Wow.
They give it to them to reverse erectile dysfunction and for increasing penile volume. And when a lot of guys want a bigger penis, I'm 4, I want to be 5 inches. I'm 5, I want to be 6. I'm 6, I want to be 7. And it never ends. I'm 9, I want to be 10.
Yeah.
Every man would love to have a bigger penis. I mean, almost every man. It's, it's just one of those things. Women want to be rich and thin and men want a giant manaconda.
Yeah.
It's just what we love. It's more pleasure. It's behold, right? It's just so nice. And so the pump itself, there's a length and a girth pump. So there's your girth pump right there. You can open that if you want to. The one in the bubble wrap. That's the other component. So this will give you more girth to your penis. You'll get thicker. But that, you put your testicles and your penis in and you do a pumping session with that, and you can pop that saran wrap off the top. You can just stick your thumb in it. That will give you length because it actually tugs on the suspensory ligament and it causes your penis to just hang a little lower. And when it gets longer and it gets thicker, you get, I'm going to say generally you're looking at regular use of a pump a couple of times a week for 10 months to a year. You're going to grow 20 to 25% increase in overall penile volume.
Is that
You'll
possible?
see girth within 2 weeks. You'll see girth. Yeah, and you just keep doing it. But the one trick is that you never want to pump 2 days in a row. Guys, they get so excited. All of a sudden, they see that they're getting bigger, and they're like, "I'm gonna do this every day. I'm gonna do this to level 11. I can take it." And then they're like, "I'm not seeing any gains." And it's like, well, you can't pump every day. It's like building muscle. You got to have recovery days so that the tissue can grow.
Wow.
If you just keep damaging and you don't let it grow back, it's not going to get you volume. And so men love this. I've helped almost 20,000 men confidently do penis enlargement and reverse atrophy with this pump.
Incredible. That's a length one and that's a girth one. Or
yes. This is the girth and that's your length. And you can use them both. Pumping session, you can pump with both. And then you can use this around, what I'm showing is a red light wrap for your penis pump, or you can put it right on your penis and testicles. So you can wrap this around your pump. There's your red light therapy for your penis. There's your photobiomodulation.
Do you put it in there or you just, that's
around the outside?
Through the glass, on top of the glass.
Yes, through the polyacrylic.
Wow.
Or you can put it right on your penis and balls. And, it helps your Leydig cells make testosterone as well. It's really good for fertility if you're trying to get pregnant as well, to use this too. It improves your testosterone, it improves your sperm count, it improves motility of the sperm. So red light therapy is good for him and her. And that's a really, really neat thing too. And then there's one last thing I'd like to talk about because you are a health show. And I think this is a really important thing to talk about, and that is prostate. I want to talk about prostate stimulation. I'm
glad we're talking about that because that was a question I had.
Good. Do you want to ask me your question?
What's the deal with prostate orgasms?
Yes, P-spot.
This is the P-spot when you said it before?
Yes.
Okay, now I'm ready.
Yes. So right up inside your rectum, just inside, you'll feel almost like a little walnut feeling thing. That's a part of your prostate. And your prostate, basically, what your prostate does is it's a muscle and a gland. It's a muscle because it squeezes your ejaculation. Your semen, your sperm is made in your testicles. Your semen is made in the prostate. Your testicles send the semen up there. It mixes together. Then you ejaculate and it squeezes and it pushes the ejaculate out while you're orgasming. You can separate orgasm and ejaculation. They're not married. It's just what you see everywhere. So you think that's what you should do. But you can have all these different kinds of orgasms, including a P-spot orgasm. And for guys that have premature ejaculation, or they sit a lot, they're not moving, they're not active, or they, a lot of men as they age, they start to get benign prostatic hyperplasia, BPH, which is your nighttime urination, you're always looking for a bathroom, that kind of thing. So urinary issues. This stuff is all leading to prostate problems as you age. So I like to recommend that guys use a prostate massage tool a couple of times a week while they masturbate.
Really?
Yes. So guys are masturbating. You're masturbating anyway. You might as well use a massage tool. What I like about this one is that it's really easy to use. It's not any bigger than your poos. It'll definitely fit up there. Guys are like, that looks big. And I'm like, come on. You pooed a bigger poo this morning than this thing, right? And so it slips right up in there. It stimulates the perineum, and it also stimulates the prostate itself here and up into the rectal area. And what that does, especially for guys who are worried about or have what they feel is premature ejaculation, you can begin to stimulate up inside your body. And as you're masturbating, you can get close to your point of no return, but learn to pull back on your point of no return. And you can move the sensation up into your body. So this urge to ejaculate, you can start to pull it up inside you rather than out and you're done. And stimulating your P spot, not only does that massaging help that gland, it moves the blood, which brings in healing factors from your blood, from your own body, to keep that muscly gland working really well. But it also feels pleasurable inside you, so that not all of the sensation that you're generating is on the tip of your penis. A lot of guys, mostly, they're really heavily oriented toward masturbation on the tip of the penis, barely even the shaft, sometimes never even the testicles or the perineum. But as you begin to touch all of that tissue and stimulate the prostate, you're getting this, this entire complex activated and more orgasmic. And it also slows your urge to ejaculate too fast down. So it does a lot of things health-wise and performance-wise for you.
Amazing.
Yeah.
How many men are hesitant to put that thing in their butt?
Fewer and fewer. More and more men are open to doing that. And I recommend 3 different tools. I've got a tiny one. Let me see if I can find it. Let me show it to you. You don't mind if I'm digging through my little bag of goodies here, do you?
You got a whole bag of goodies.
I have so many things.
It's a big bag of goodies.
I have bags of goodies. I just have bags of goodies. Yeah, like these are penis rings that help with erectile dysfunction and give your partner vibration. Those are really nice. Let me find it. Oh, and if you're worried about getting too big, you can just put these on the base of your shaft. So if your wife's like, you're going to get too big and it's going to hurt, be like, oh no, I've got bump-ons. I'm just going to make my penis giant, enjoy it, and I won't hurt you either.
Wow.
Isn't that brilliant? They're called O-nuts.
Who knew?
I know. And then here's the little tiny one. This is Molto. If you're like, I cannot put that thing in my butt, you can start with something small. This is a medical grade prostate massage tool distributed by urologists called the Molto. It's at drivedesire.com. All these things are. That's the Vice 2. That's on there too. So these are really nice. And then there's a mid-size one in here somewhere. Look at me. I've got penile stretchers. You can do stretching if you're getting peyronie's or your penis is starting to get a kink in it from the tunica albuginea getting damaged or the keratin laying down weird when you're born.
Yeah.
You can make your penis straight. You can accelerate length.
Looks like an injured penis.
It's actually a penile traction device.
Yeah.
Yeah, it uses mechanotransduction to do cellular biogenesis to lengthen the penis.
And it goes back into, wow, incredible. They have a device for everything. I had no idea.
Nerdy.
Yeah, but you got all the goods.
Here's the third one. This is the Plex with Flex. This is the kind of mid-size prostate massage tool. And then I also like these double vibrating penis ring for lovemaking is fantastic. You put all your junk through here, your balls and your penis
the whole
comes
package
through here. And then she's got a vibrator here and you've got a perineal vibrator down here. And there's your nice vibration for intercourse with all of the nice tightening and holding the blood in.
Whoa.
I know, right?
This is, first of all, I never thought I'd get a penis pump in my life. So
I would really like you to try it.
So I got to thank you because I'm over here thinking it was like some device that like doesn't work, but you actually made it really understandable from a medical sense. Yes. How important this is.
Very important to keep.
And I just turned 40 last year, so, and you said 40 and I said, ding, 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 ding. I said, okay, so this is incredible. And, I love that. I love how unapologetic and unshameful you are about these things. I mean, it's your work. Yeah. But this is what we need. More conversations about this and understand this is biohacking of your sexual parts of intimacy. This is something not to be ignored because we suffer by the time we're 70. We go, what the heck just happened? Right. I'm really inspired by all of this conversation. Thank you. Can I ask you how, like, did you grow up like this? Did you grow up? How in the Lord's name did you come out with such? Because I feel your passion, and I feel your knowledge, and I feel that you really want to give this to people and have people experience this. Yeah. Is it that you feel there's a God-given right here, and how did you get here?
When I was a little kid, I was always the little kid that would speak up for all the other little kids. So I was born with some courage. I'm a lion-hearted Leo. I care about people and I like to stand up for people. I'm a big, tall person. I'm strong. I'm confident. And I always have been, even as a little kid. But I got married and I chased the boys around the playground. I always liked to try to kiss them and rope them with my jump rope and give them a kiss. And before we learned about consent,
crazy little kids.
I wouldn't do that anymore. But when I married my husband, I was a Silicon Valley executive. Yeah. And after having sex with him for a dozen years and never having an orgasm from intercourse, I was avoiding him for sex. And we went to therapy. We did a lot of personal growth work, but it was the sex workshops we went to, which took a lot of courage for me to go to. I never even looked at my vulva before I was 40. I never even looked down there. I had a baby and I'd never looked at my own vulva. I was very shy and insecure about how I looked.
Yeah.
I just didn't know about anything. And we almost got divorced because I wasn't having orgasms. I didn't want to have sex with him anymore. And so we went to these sex workshops and it was like a light switch. People just told us what to do and it worked. And I became this orgasmic human being and I loved sex. And I said, I want to go into business taking these workshops and bringing them online so that people don't have to get naked in a workshop in California and do this stuff. Who's doing that? Like, I was really brave to do it. And I had a lot to lose because my husband is amazing. Mm-hmm. And so I brought the workshops online and we started this company 2 decades ago. I've been doing this for 20 years. And when I first started, I was publishing the work of my mentors. I was actually taking their workshops and creating them. But I began studying sexuality and having experiences and writing about them. And so as I began doing that, I moved into my own power, my own knowledge, my own ability. And the lump in my throat went away. And now it's joyous. And what people tell me is, at first when you started talking, I felt a little triggered. But you were so comfortable with it, it made me comfortable.
Yeah.
And I think that's really all it is the more that we begin to talk to each other about it and know the parts and know the options and know the health and know the techniques, the better the world's going to be. Like, I have great hope for our world. As bad as it seems right now, especially in our country right now, it's bad right now for us. Mm-hmm. But we're in a dark time. But I believe in the future of humanity because I know that more people are going to connect in pleasure. They're going to be people who tune into your show. They're going to hear about this. They're going to open themselves to more. They're going to try things. They're going to be better with their kids than their parents were. Right. Everything's getting better as we move toward conscious heart connection.
Amen.
Right?
Yeah, I can feel that out of you. It's like, I always believe that like the person and what they embody is that medicine, right? And then the tools they give is sort of parallel to really the energy of the person. And you really embody it. I can feel it. I feel like so sexually wanting to do better in my life and like really wanting to feed that part of my life even more than I thought I was.
I want you to.
Yeah. So that's the inspiration behind at least my experience with you.
Yeah. Thank you.
I got to thank you. I got to thank you for the penis pump.
Yes.
Again, amazing.
Yes. I should tell you that the guide to penis pumping is at pumpingguide.com.
Pumping Guide.
And the pump is at pumpswork.com. Mm-hmm. And I think it's really important to get the pump I recommend because I've tested all of them. And this is the pump I recommend for over 30 reasons, which are documented in the Pumping Guide.
Wow.
And it's not my company. It's just, none of these are these are just the things that I recommend.
That's right.
Because I've tested everything. It's funny, I went to a trade show in Burbank on Monday that was a pleasure tool and toy, like adult and lingerie store, kind of an expo. And I was talking to our mutual friend and she said, so what do you think of the show? And I said, I found it depressing. Because 95% of the stuff in there was garbage, junk, plastic, plasticizers, phthalates, endocrine disrupting,
all that nasty stuff.
Garbage, stuff that was going to break, scratchy lingerie, just crap. And I said, I'm glad I went because I left there realizing that the companies that I recommend make excellent, high quality products that won't fail people, that they'll get good benefits from. And I hadn't really thought about that. I hadn't really had that experience of seeing I've been to other shows like that, but it just dawned on me like, man, I don't even want to talk to the people who are vending this crap that most people it's novelty items. Like almost all the guys who said, oh, I tried penis pumping and it didn't work. And I'm like, what did your pump look like? No gauge, no sizing, no electric pump head to hold a steady vacuum. no release valve, or it's a water pump. You can't see what you're doing. You can't see the skin. You can get too much pressure, or you can't get the right pressure because it only goes to a specific pressure, which might be the right one or the wrong one for you. All the industrial waste of all of those products. We're throwing this junk in the landfill. We don't need all this crap. We need the one good thing, that the pump can go on bigger and bigger and bigger cylinders as you grow, right? So you're not just throwing shit out.
That's right. That's right. Amen to that. And your wisdom and really showing up for people and the communication piece. The thing that really stuck with me is the heart. You said the presence. And communication. These are all things that are available. Right now. Right. So for the people viewing and listening, they go, okay, listen, I'm on fire listening to this. I'm here with my husband. I'm here with my wife. I heard it this morning. I sent it to my sister. Where can they find you? Where can they learn all about you, more in-depth guides, all of it?
Betterlover.com is a good place to start. What I do is I publish a newsletter. It's called Better Lover. And twice a week, I send out an email with a communication skill, a hot sex technique, some of the products that I recommend. So you're constantly learning a couple of times a week. And if you have a question for me, hey, Suze, you were on DrG's and you said this thing, but I didn't really understand. Email me. Just reply to any Better Lover email that you get. It goes to my inbox, not to my care team, who've been with me for almost 18 years.
Wow.
My team has been with me forever. We are a family.
Cool.
I got 15 people in my company. Wow. And I get those emails and I will reply to you. And it's almost always something that people have asked me a million times. I've got a video on it. I've got an article on it. I've got something on it. I really just love to help people take those next steps. And I've got a next step for you.
What's the next step?
After everything you've talked to me about, your relationship, the questions that you've asked me, and the things that stuck with you, the presence and the heart connection, I think you might like to try having an expanded orgasm practice with your girlfriend.
Okay.
I think you're going to love it. And here's why I think you're going to love it. Because I think that one of the things, you're a softie, you're romantic, you're sweet, and you love to love. I can tell.
You can tell.
I can tell
from
Leo. Everything you said.
I'm a Leo too.
You're a Leo. And the expanded orgasm practice is a clitoral stroking technique. It's the thing that my daughter was making fun of my husband. Oh, I'm going to give mom a massage, Dad. That kind of thing. My husband and I have been doing it for 20 years, teaching it for 20 years. And it's an online program I'll gift to you, of course. It's at expandherorgasmtonight.com. And it's basically 5 strokes that you do to the clitoris. And most often, women have a limited capacity to orgasm because they're driving their sensation too hard, too fast, because they have performance anxiety and they want to make sure they have an orgasm. And so they kind of blow out their nerves and their receptors. And this is actually a super light clitoral stroke. You lay your girlfriend down, you butterfly her legs, you put pillows under them. You're both very comfortable. You have to be as comfortable as she because you're the giver. She's the receiver. She receives this stroke from you. And when you do it, you have to connect into her limbic system. You know how we talked about the conjoined trance, the theta state? You're going to get into theta state together, but you're also going to connect limbically. Your finger on her clitoris, and you're going to feel the spot that wants to be stroked. It's going to be slightly different every day because it just is. It's not really a spot. It's a feeling. And what's going to happen is you're going to get really good at touching this and giving this stroke to her so that she can just relax and feel into that sensation. And it's going to be this crazy thing where you're actually taking her body on this ride, on this pleasure ride. And all you're doing is like this little stroke.
Wow.
And it's going to grow and expand and feel incredibly exquisite to her. And you're going to learn a couple of techniques. You're going to learn something called touching for rapture. You're going to learn something called peaking. There are 21 little play dates in that program. Each time you lay down and you butterfly her legs, you're going to do one of these experiences. And it's going to give you all the facets to the point where you touch her and she starts coming. You
Come on.
literally just put your hand on her, and all of a sudden, it's like you can command the connection of her body with your body, and you can lead her into this incredible pleasure. And it is so subtle that I think you'll be good at it.
Yeah.
I think you have a lot of subtlety to you.
I do. I can sense very quickly. Yeah. So I'm very energetic.
Yep.
Like sensing.
Yes.
And I know exactly like where I can listen to her body and I know what her body's saying. And it's always true. She's like, this is exactly where I was calling for.
This is what I wanted. You just gave me what I wanted.
Yeah. It's part of like, that's how I practice my work too.
Yeah.
It's like sensing people.
Right.
Yeah. So that's amazing. Okay.
Yes.
I will do it.
I'm going to give it to you and
back.
You can give it a try.
Okay. Amazing.
You can pump your penis and you can give her expanded orgasm dates.
I'm a new man.
I love that.
What a gift. So, and where do people viewing, listening go, I want to try this expanded orgasm?
Expandherorgasmtonight.com. And there are 3 free reports there. You can just get those to learn what is expanded orgasm, the power of peaking, which is an interesting technique that toggles the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system so you can intensify her pleasure. And it explains what is expanded orgasm, because how is an expanded orgasm different than a regular orgasm, than an extended orgasm? So he explains that. Yeah. The power of peaking, which is a really cool orgasmic intensity, and then touching for rapture instead of affect. Those are your kind of first 3 lessons that you get. And then it's just it's just a short video and a little book that teaches you the practice.
Amazing.
And then you just practice. It's a practice. You practice.
And where can they find you? Like you're just you.
Betterlover.com.
Betterlover.com.
You can also find me on Instagram. It's my whole name smushed together. Susan Bratton. Bratton.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Easy to find.
Susan, you're amazing.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. G.
You're so good. I feel your heart. I feel your passion. I feel your knowledge. I feel so much wiser than I did an hour ago.
Good.
Thank you. I would love to have you back maybe in a few months, next year, whatever it is. Anytime you're down here.
Happy to come.
And thank you again. I like that one.